Welcome to SquareRoot Central. Today we will learn what real numbers are. Now you will have a question, what are unreal numbers? Well, there are no unreal numbers, but yes, there are imaginary numbers. That is something for a completely different video. Right now let us focus on real numbers and see what real numbers are. Now with the scenario that is going to be shown to you on your screen, you can consider real numbers to be the great-great-grandfather of a big family tree. Let us begin our family tree with the youngest child, that is natural numbers. Now what exactly are natural numbers? Natural numbers are nothing but a set of all positive numbers grouped together. That is the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. up until infinity. Basically, natural numbers are something which you can use to count things. You can count 1 pencil, 2 books, 3 pages, 4 players, 5 batsmen, etc. Now as you can see, the next kid is already on your screen. Did you check what is missing in natural numbers? Yes, you're right, the number 0. If you add the number 0 to all our positive numbers, that set together is called whole numbers. So whole numbers is nothing but the set of all positive numbers including 0. Now that we have a set of all our positive numbers, but is positive numbers enough? I don't think so. The world of mathematics always finds balance. To maintain balance, every positive should have a negative on the other side. When you include all the negative numbers and 0 and all the positive numbers, the entire set that you get together is called integers. Alright, now we have all the numbers from minus infinity to plus infinity. However, do you think there is something in between 0 and 1, or in between 1 and 2, or do you think that 1 directly comes after 0 and there's nothing in between them? Well, there is something in between 0 and 1, and those some things are called as fractions. So if you draw a line with 0 at its center, minus 1 on the left and 1 on the right, and so on, so basically all negative numbers on the left, positive on the right, fractions are something that would be written in between 0 and 1, or 1 and 2. Now there are two ways to write fractions, one of which is already shown on the screen. There's another way in which you write fractions with decimal points. You will see that as we proceed through the video. Now all of this together, that is your natural numbers, whole numbers, your integers, your fractions, that is all positive numbers, the number 0, all the negative numbers and all the fractions together as one single set are called rational numbers. Remember rational numbers, you will be using this concept going forward. Now from this list you will actually understand the technical definition of rational numbers. That is, rational numbers are any number or numbers which can be expressed in the form of p by q, where q is not equal to 0. Now you will have a question, what numbers can possibly not be expressed in the form of p by q? Well, apparently there are numbers that cannot be expressed in the form of p by q, and they are called irrational numbers. You can see examples for irrational numbers on your screen. The square root of 2, the square root of 3, etc. are part of irrational numbers. You will get a better understanding of irrational numbers and rational numbers, that is the numbers expressed in the form of p by q, when we understand the decimal part of our fractions, which is now. And this entire set of rational and irrational numbers together are called real numbers. As I said, the great grandfather of the entire family is real numbers. Alright, so let us move to the decimal part of our numbers. Now what is 1 divided by 2? The answer is 0.5. And what is 1 divided by 3? The answer is 0.3333333. Well, that goes on. Which brings us to our next concept, that is terminating and non-terminating decimals. 0.5 is an example of a terminating decimal number, The next one, 0.33, that is 1 divided by 3, is an example of a non-terminating decimal number. Now when I say number, I mean fractions. So 1 divided by 4 that you can see on your screen and 1 divided by 3 that you can see on your screen are examples of terminating and non-terminating fractions respectively. Now there is another way in which decimal numbers or fractions are differentiated, that is recurring fractions or recurring decimals and non-recurring decimal numbers. In the list of 3's that we just saw a while ago, 0.33333 and so on, that is an example of a recurring fraction. Now here's something that you need to see. All our terminating decimal numbers are non-recurring by default. Recurring decimal numbers and non-recurring decimal numbers are differentiated basically for non-terminating decimal numbers. 0.3333 here is an example of a non-terminating recurring decimal number. Similarly, root 2 is an example of a non-terminating but non-recurring decimal number. Now if you notice the value of root 2, that is 1.41421356, this goes on. This is not terminating anywhere. However, you will see that no number is repeating itself endlessly, and therefore non-recurring. All our non-terminating and non-recurring numbers together form irrational numbers. On the other side, all our terminating decimal numbers and our non-terminating recurring decimal numbers together form our rational numbers. Just look on your screen for the examples for terminating and non-terminating recurring decimal numbers. Those fractions can be expressed as 1 divided by 4 or 1 divided by 3, that is p divided by q. That is, all rational numbers can be expressed as p by q. On the other hand, irrational numbers, that is root 2, cannot be expressed in the form of p by q, and both our rational and irrational numbers together are real numbers. So, to quickly recap everything, we now know that all positive numbers are called natural numbers, all positive numbers including 0 are called whole numbers, all positive numbers including 0 and all negative numbers together are called integers. The numbers that come between 0 and 1 are called as fractions. Fractions can also be expressed in the form of decimal numbers. Now there are different types of decimal numbers. One is terminating decimal numbers, where the numbers terminate after the decimal point. The second is non-terminating decimal numbers, where the numbers continue or do not terminate after the decimal point. Non-terminating decimal numbers can further be divided into two categories. One is recurring non-terminating decimal numbers, where the numbers recur after the decimal point and do not end. The next is non-recurring and non-terminating decimal numbers, where the numbers do not recur but do not end after the decimal point. With this, we also learned what rational numbers are, what irrational numbers are, what can be expressed as p divided by q, what cannot be expressed as p divided by q, and together everything is called as real numbers.